All right, young adventurers, welcome to today's Explainer. We are stepping way back in time to uncover a thrilling, magical adventure filled with gigantic promises, epic journeys, and a night sky full of wonders. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide as we explore one of the most incredible stories ever recorded. So get ready, because we're about to bring this ancient world right to life.
Let's dive right in by asking a pretty big question. Have you ever had a dream that was just so amazing, so incredibly real, that it kind of changed your whole life? Just imagine for a second. You're far away from home, you are completely exhausted, you fall asleep on a hard, plain old rock, and suddenly you wake up to a magical, universe-altering dream. Well, that is exactly what happens in the story we're exploring today.
Now, before we really get going, I've got to share a quick, cool fact about our hero. In the ancient Hebrew texts we're looking at today, his original name is actually Yaakov. But, when we read the story in English, we almost always call him Jacob. They are the exact same person, just said in two different languages. So, for our adventure today, we're going to stick with Jacob.
Chapter 1. Meet Yaakov, or Jacob, the start of a big adventure.
Every great adventure has to start somewhere, right? Well, Jacob starts right at home, where he receives a massive, super important mission from his dad, Isaac. Isaac gives Jacob some incredibly specific instructions. He basically says, listen, do not marry a local Hittite woman. Instead, I need you to travel a huge distance to a place called Haran and choose a wife from your uncle Lavan's family. But right before Jacob heads out, Isaac gives him this incredible blessing. It's actually the exact same blessing God gave to his grandpa Abraham. Isaac prays that God Almighty will bless Jacob, make his family grow into this huge assembly of people, and actually give them the very land they're standing on. And with that amazing blessing, Jacob packs his bags and is sent far away from home.
So Jacob leaves his home in Beersheba super early in the morning. And guys, he just walks and walks and walks all day long toward Haran. Imagine walking until your feet are completely sore and your legs feel like total jelly. He travels the entire day until finally the sun starts to set, painting the sky in these deep, beautiful colors. Because it's getting too dark to safely keep going, he just has to stop at a random spot to camp for the night, completely alone out there in the wilderness.
Chapter 2. The Amazing Ladder Dream, a Night Under the Stars.
Picture this. It's super quiet, the sky is dark and just packed with swirling constellations. Now, the lonely wilderness out there might seem pretty scary, but Jacob is about to have literally the most mind-blowing night of his life. But, well, first he has to sleep. And guess what? He doesn't have a comfy mattress or a nice fluffy feather pillow. He's just a traveler sitting in the dirt. So he literally grabs a hard, bumpy rock, shoves it right under his head for a pillow, and falls fast asleep. And that is exactly when he slips into the most extraordinary dream.
In this dream, Jacob sees this absolutely magnificent ladder. But we're not talking about a ladder you use to climb a tree. No way. This ladder is resting on the dusty ground right next to him, but the top of it stretches all the way up, piercing right through the clouds and reaching straight into heaven. And it gets even crazier. He sees the angels of God actively going up and down on it. It was like this magical bridge connecting the ordinary dirt of the earth directly to the spectacular realm of heaven.
Chapter 3. God's Big Promise, the Voice from Above.
Suddenly, the whole energy of the dream just shifts. Adonai, God himself, is standing right there next to Jacob. With this huge, booming voice, God introduces himself as the God of Jacob's grandfather, Abraham. He tells Jacob that the very land he's sleeping on, that's going to belong to him and his family. God promises that Jacob's descendants are going to be as numerous as the grains of dust on the earth, that they'll spread out to the west, the east, the north, and the south in vibrant bursts of life and basically bless the entire world. Talk about a massive promise for a guy sleeping on a rock.
But God realizes Jacob is incredibly far from home, and honestly, probably pretty scared. So God gives him this deeply comforting promise. He says, look, I am with you, I will guard you wherever you go, and I will bring you back into this land. God is literally promising to be Jacob's personal protector on this scary adventure, promising that he won't ever leave him until every single thing he said comes true.
Chapter 4. The House of God. Waking Up Changed.
As the bright, fiery colors of the morning sunrise start breaking through the darkness, Jacob finally opens his eyes. And man, his heart is just pounding out of his chest with this mix of fear and total amazement. He looks around at the dirt, the little bushes, and his hard rock pillow, and he says these famous words, "Truly, Adonai is in this place, and I didn't know it."
He realizes he's not just some lonely traveler anymore. He literally just had a face-to-face encounter with the creator of the universe. This dusty, perfectly ordinary spot, it's actually the house of God and the very gate of heaven.
So Jacob knows he absolutely has to remember this moment for the rest of his life. First thing he does? He takes that exact same bumpy stone he used as a pillow and sets it straight up to make a monument. Next, he takes some precious olive oil from his travel bag and pours it right over the top of the stone to make it special and holy. And finally, he renames the whole place. The town used to be called Luz, but Jacob renames it Beit-El. In Hebrew, that literally translates to the house of God.
Now, before Jacob packs up and continues his super long walk to Haran, he makes a really serious promise, a vow, right back to God. Jacob basically says, okay, if God truly keeps his promise to protect me on this dangerous road, if he gives me bread to eat so I don't starve, and clothes to wear so I stay warm, and if he brings me safely back to my father's house in peace, then the Lord will truly be my God. And to show just how grateful he is, Jacob promises to faithfully give back 1/10 of absolutely everything he ever receives.
Chapter 5. Food for Thought. What can we learn?
Okay, so this isn't just some cool ancient story. This explainer is actually packed with some really deep meaning for our own lives. Here's what you should absolutely take away from all this. First up, God's presence. He is with us literally everywhere, not just in special holy buildings. If he was with Jacob out in the dusty wilderness, he is for sure with you. Second, unmerited grace. Look, Jacob wasn't perfect. He made a bunch of mistakes before this trip, but God still met him right in his weakness and showed him incredible love. Third is assurance and promise. Just like he told Jacob, God keeps his promises to protect and guide us through our own scary adventures. And fourth, transformation. Ordinary places like your bedroom, a park, or literally just a spot with a rock become totally sacred and special when we recognize that God is right there with us. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this big question to talk about with your family today. Where is a place that you feel God's presence? Where's that spot in your life where you feel totally safe, watched over, and truly connected to the amazing universe around you? Really think about it, because, your very own Beit-El might be a whole lot closer than you think.
Like, share, and subscribe.